Welcome back, everyone, to Sip and Spill. This is our show where we invite you all to sit down, grab a drink, and talk all things life, pop culture, love, all the good stuff. We are your hosts. I'm Anna.
And I'm Nikki.
And it's been a while.
We're back.
We're back. We have had a busy month. Nikki
Very
and I
busy.
have been booked and busy.
Guys.
And we did it.
We did it. Here's our medal for those who are watching.
Heard us talk since we started this podcast that we had this half marathon that Nikki and I were both training for over the last few months, and we are proud to say that we survived it. We made it back here. We didn't necessarily think we would, but we completed it, and we've lived to tell the tale.
Thank God.
Shockingly.
Very shocking.
It was quite a day for a race. We braved the elements once again. I think that's the one of the challenges we'll get into later on in the episode is that we've really had to brave the elements when it comes to running this last 6-ish months we've been prepping for this. It was a cold and windy day down in Asbury Park.
Rainy a little bit of rain.
Rained for a little bit, but regardless, we pushed through. We crossed that finish line. We got our medals, we got our shirts, we got our bragging rights, and we can officially say we have completed a half marathon. So,
Yes. So with that being said, let's jump into our cocktail. For this episode, I created an Electrolyte Delight. This is our finishing cocktail. Give us back that electrolytes that we need. This is your bright and breezy twist on the classic mojito. It tastes like a little bit of spa water meets happy hour.
Yum.
So I've already been sipping on it, as you can see. I put a little dent in this. But basically, a handful of blueberries. You're going to muddle those with mint leaves and cucumber. Fresh lime juice, we'll do an ounce of that. An ounce and a half of Tito's vodka, or whatever vodka you have handy. An ounce of acai juice. And we also have, I love these that you discovered, Mingle mocktails. So this, I like the versatility of this, that if you want to add alcohol to it, you can. Otherwise, it's fine without. But this was just an easy way to add the bubbles. And it already has cucumber melon in it. So this is the cucumber melon mojito flavor. So we split that, so half a can in your cocktail. Cheers. It's really good.
oh, it's delicious.
I can't wait to sit on the beach with one of these.
It's very refreshing. I was just going to say, perfect for summer. We've finally reached summer-ish weather. We had a very nice day today. Nice weekend and nice week coming up.
I just feel like it gets nice, and then all of a sudden it's just like like in the middle of the day, it just gets wickedly cold.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
no reason.
Yeah. Well, that's East Coast living for
True.
you.
True.
So we'll just have to survive it another year. I act surprised about it every single year. Like I've never experienced
I don't think
this
it's
before.
been this bad. but-
It's been again a challenge this year especially to get through it. But nevertheless, summer is coming. Warm weather's coming.
Super excited. Last night was Donovan's Reef opening night. So that was a good way. It felt like summer, a little kickoff. We got a good summer ahead.
Yes, we do.
So let's continue on our conversation
Let's
about the half marathon.
Get back to it.
I literally felt like I was going to the chair. I felt like I was going on death row. I literally had to call Anna. And I was just like, I don't think I can do this. Like I knew physically I'd be able to do it, but I didn't think mentally I'd be able to do it.
It's a mental game
It
for
is.
sure. Anything physical you're going to do, any challenge you do, any race you do is going to be some sort of mental challenge.
Right.
It's 80% mental, 20% physical in my opinion.
And I think also like the thought that I was just like we were going to be there for at least 2 hours.
That's the
doing
other
the
part of
same
it.
thing for 2 hours. But I mean, it's easy for us to sit down on our couch or on the phone and do whatever for 2
Right.
hours. So like
Something so physical like this
it's a little more draining.
and I mean you're not really occupying yourself much during this. Yes, we had music, we had thankfully each other, and our friend Jamie was running it with us, so it was nice to have people beside you to chit chat with, and makes the time go by a little bit faster. But there were points where it definitely dragged on, especially I would say around mile, had to be 6 or 7. Mind you, Nikki was about 20 feet ahead of us at this point because she just could not wait to be done.
I just feel like I just am like, all right, I realize that the quicker I run, the quicker it will be over. So I just like zoomed.
She zoomed.
We did take like a 10-minute break because we all had to pee. So then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm not seeing any more people coming by, and we're at the porta potties. Thank God, like where the race was located, a lot of people were getting work done on their houses. So there was porta potties everywhere. So we found a porta potty, we're waiting, and then I see like less and less people going by. And all of a sudden I'm like, holy fuck, are we last? Like, are we last? So I just started running. Because if you're not first, you're last.
In a race of 4,000 people, if you're not first, you're last. So all that to say is around mile 6, 7, when like the crowd starts to thin out, there's really no spectators on the side. One of your 2 friends who you plan to do this whole freaking race with decides to leave you.
Gone. But also, Anna is doing another race that I am not doing. So I just kind of wanted to like try and give it my all. But Anna's doing the Brooklyn half.
Yes, that is correct. Brooklyn half, May 17th. All I can say is it's going to be another we'll just see how it goes kind of race at this point. I think I really wanted to, when I started the year, and if you were with us on our New Year's resolution manifestation episode with Jamie and Jenna, you heard me say that I really wanted to finish the half marathon at an 11 to 11:30 pace. I tried my best throughout my training to get faster. Easy. It's not easy. And it really did get to a point where maybe like a month out from the race, I was getting long runs in once a week if I could, going up to 5 miles, 6 miles, 7 miles, etc. And I just reached a point where I said, just finish at this point. Don't worry if it takes 3 hours, if it takes 4 hours, however long it takes. Just finish, just get through it. You'll have another one coming. There will be plenty of others too in the future. I'm on a mission to continue this and run several more races over the course of the next few months. So I really felt that at a certain point, it just didn't matter what the pace was. And I think at the end of the day, my pace was like 13 even per mile, which is fine. I think
I just feel like nobody cares about numbers except ourselves. Like even when we were younger, and I remember being in school, like it was like grades. Like when you were in high school, and I'd be like, "Oh, I got 100 on the test," and like I had like a 64, and it's just like, I don't remember exactly.
You passed.
Exactly. You just don't remember those things. You don't remember, like, I don't remember the numbers or like the time that we finished on the previous races. And I was looking back the other day, and I was actually surprised. I did a lot better than like what I thought I did on like a couple of our first like 5Ks.
Yeah.
So, it really doesn't matter. All that matters is that you finish, because most people, this isn't even a thought in their mind to do.
No. A year ago, I would have never done this. I would have never signed up to do this. 2 years ago, I posted on my TikTok, 2 years ago, we were doing the Tribe event, or I was doing it. You didn't do it that year, but was doing this Tribe fitness event here in New Jersey that involves a lot of strength exercises, but in between each is a run around this huge baseball field. And the way I struggled to even run one lap at that time, and now I can say I was able to run 13 miles it's just insane to me. It's again something I never thought I would do, never thought I could accomplish, but that's where you have to, like you said, stop worrying about the numbers and just give yourself credit for Well, you did. It's a big accomplishment. I mean, ever since we finished, everyone's been saying what an accomplishment this is. And so you just have to relish in it, enjoy it, and on to the next one. And, you know, same thing. I'm thinking, you know, my mindset is for the next one is just finish, just get through it. Whatever happens, happens. You know, we're not, and this is what I told Nikki as well, is we're not, you know, here to win first place in these races. We're not here to finish this in an hour and, you know, achieve that. That's just, if you're doing that, that's great.
Like, you've been training your whole life if you're doing that.
That's a skill level that really develops over time. But
yeah,
we're just here for our health, our medals,
yeah,
our bib collection. We're just here for the fun of it all.
So speaking of that race, let's talk about how we prepped for that race. I feel like we watched a lot of TikToks, which gave us a lot of advice. We ended up on the Runner's Talk.
Oh, yeah.
Which gave us a lot of advice of like how to fuel, prep for race day. I didn't know this, but we had to take Imodium.
To be clear, I don't know if this is something all runners do.
We were just advised.
We were advised by someone on
TikTok.
Run Talk to take an Imodium beforehand, and I gotta say, thank God we did.
And even when we were in the porta potty, Jamie yelled at me. She's like, "Do not trust that fart." I'm like,
no.
"Don't worry, I took Imodium. I'm fine." Yeah, trust no fart. I mean, yeah, I was fine, but they say, like, I guess if you're running for a long time, you
get the, what's it called, runner's trot? Something like that.
Something like that. So yeah, we did that. We got bagels, plain bagels, peanut butter.
Yep.
So that was our breakfast. Oh, and banana. We each had one banana. So our fuel during, this is what was my fuel. Oh, I got these glasses on Amazon. I loved these glasses. I mean, I didn't need them because it wasn't sunny out.
But you know, I like a sunglass.
I just need
anyway
it.
For the wind, especially.
The wind, because and then it started raining.
Yeah.
So I feel like I had this like shield on.
Yeah.
I got these honey suckers. They're honey filled drops. So I feel like I'll just pop those in. Me and Anna both had our running vests.
Oh yes.
So in here with your running vest, you have your pouches. So comes with a water bottle that you fill. It's like a little pouch you fill with your water.
Which I just have to say, I don't like these particular types of running water pouches, but I wasn't worried because they had water on the course every 2 miles.
They did.
That water tasted like pool water.
It did.
It was disgusting.
It did. I think I was thinking because I think it's just in that
it's in the jug for so long, the like plastic Kool-Aid, and that's exactly what happens
like
when I have a plastic water bottle that I just let sit for a little bit. It gets that same taste. It was disgusting. There were points where I just like had to chug it because I just needed it, but I just couldn't sip on it and take my
I poured it on my head once at one point.
That's a good idea.
Also, I made my own gels. So you use gels.
Yes. I use the Huma, Huma. They're chia seed gels, so they're supposed to be better for your stomach in general, but they're good. I mean, they come in, I have like all different flavors, so I've been trying all different ones as I've been running, but they're like, you know, fruit flavors, chocolate, coffee, all different kinds. They're good.
Okay. So I asked ChatGPT how to make my own gel. I think I did like half honey, half acai, not acai. What was I just saying?
Honey and
agave, excuse me. So did a half and half just so it was like a little bit healthier because honey is just whatever.
The sugar.
And then I sprinkled some salt in there, Himalayan salt for like the electrolytes. And then they said lemon juice.
Oh, okay. For a little flavor.
Yeah.
A little zing.
And yeah, it was great. I mean, this is what I use when I run, just even regular, like long distances. It works.
Yeah.
For me.
I will say that's a big point too when you're training for any kind of long race is don't try anything new on race day.
Yeah, I know.
you practiced with these and
Right.
you had luck with these, and so that's what you got to use at the day of. Don't try a new one. Don't try any
No, yeah, don't try anything.
you
Don't
haven't
try
done
new
before.
sneakers.
No new sneakers. Oof, no new sneakers. I was worried about you still with those sneakers. They were fairly new.
Yeah, I know.
But you made
I
it.
got new sneakers. We both use Brooks.
Yeah.
I love Brooks.
Brooks
And
are
then
the best.
I got new sneakers, and I did a little bit of training in them. But yeah, it was still good.
Yeah.
And then these Honey Stinger energy waffles, which Anna introduced
My
me to.
favorite.
I was like, I would literally run miles and miles just to eat one of
Oh
these.
yeah, the salted caramel
It is so good.
is the best, and like. You know why? Because I always love a Stroop waffle when you go on a
Yeah.
plane.
Yes.
Like I get so excited when that's the snack they're giving.
Yes. They sell them
on
in
the flight.
Costco.
They sell them in TJ Maxx.
Ooh.
They're probably like $3. I really should just get
the
those.
only time I've ever had them was on the plane, and
Yeah.
then it says like the little tip on like the side of the bag, like the packaging. It's like for a better experience, you like should put it on the top of like a coffee cup and let
Oh.
it sit, and it melts, and then you eat it
Ooh,
with your coffee.
That sounds good. I never saw that.
yeah,
Maybe I'll try that with the
Yeah.
honey stinger.
yeah.
Yum.
What else did you use besides what I,
think
used?
that was it for the most part. I had the waffle. I had the
Nerds.
I actually didn't bring Nerds during the race. I didn't have any on me. But I have been using the Nerds gummy clusters to train as well. And I just went into Dwayne Reed the other day, and they had a big 30-pack of little mini bags of 3 different flavors. So now I'm good. Like I'll just, because that's like annoying to have a full bag of them
Right.
in a pouch, and then you have to try and like
Yeah, no.
pull them out mid-running.
Yeah.
So now I've got nice little pouches. I can stick one in my vest, keep
Right.
it to, that amount is a good amount for me.
And I feel like that's also a good incentive.
Yeah.
Like when you're running, it's like, okay, at this mile, I'll take like another gummy cluster. And like for me, it was
Yeah.
like, okay, at mile 3, I'll have one of the waffles. It just gets you to each of the points.
Now, if someone told me years ago that I could eat candy while
Yeah.
I run, I would have done this years ago. I would have ran a marathon by now. I would have run 2 by now to have candy in every mile. Are you kidding me? Yeah, no, I like a little candy while I fuel. What else do I use? I feel like that's it for the most part. Again, I've been trying to stick with the same things
Right.
throughout training and same on race day. So the waffles, the gels, the candy. I do like to have some sort of electrolyte drink before I start my run, at least an hour before, just so the caffeine kicks in. So whether it's like a stick packet, the energy green tea stick packets we use, or like a Celsius. A Celsius though, like that hits.
I've never had one.
Oh, it's
Really?
dangerous. The first time I ever had a Celsius was like when they were first starting to become popular. And I tried it as like a midday pick me up during the workday. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack.
Oh.
I was sitting at my desk at home, like thankfully, and I was just like shaking. It's just so much caffeine, so much more caffeine than I'm used to now. So it's a lot to have midday. I wouldn't suggest it. It's more of a first thing in the morning,
Right.
like coffee replacement type energy.
Or like, yeah, if you're going to wake up and then work out.
Right.
Because, you need, like, I couldn't do that and sit at a desk.
Yeah.
I'd be shaking.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll do a Celsius as well if I really need the boost. But yeah, I mean, otherwise just lots of water before, during, and after. That's the biggest thing. Afterwards is rehydrating. As soon as we finish this half, I got a nice non-alc beer.
Yes.
We went out and had a nice
Your
post-race
Sam
meal.
Adams, right? Was it?
It was Sierra Nevada.
Oh.
Sierra Nevada. I forgot I don't know if it's a non-alc of one that they already make or something different, but it was good. It was non-alc beer and regular beer taste the same to me, so I enjoyed it.
And you're still getting the same,
And
like,
you still get the electrolytes, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's
so-
the like malt and the wheat
Right.
that
Yeah, I feel like
does it for ya.
I would like that.
yeah. So that's my fueling strategy for the most part.
Yeah. We went to Wonder
Wonder Bar.
Wonder Bar.
Yeah.
Yes. We ate all the fried foods.
Yes.
I had a grilled cheese with bacon and fries. It was very good.
And I had a burger and fries.
I would say, what was the best post-race meal that we've had? For me, when we went to Tatum's Table in Lincroft, and I got chicken and
That was
waffles. If you know me, you know I'm very serious about my chicken and waffles. I love chicken and waffles.
That was a good one. I
live for the post-race meals that we get to do.
It's the best. I have really enjoyed our Turning Point post-race meals, though. I would say either Turning Point. It depends on just like what I'm craving that day, but it's either like a nice big breakfast or a big burger from Chubby Pickle.
Oh yeah,
like that's another one that like I've always enjoyed is just getting a nice juicy burger.
Post-race burger too.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, ugh, the best.
But I'm happy it's over. I feel like it was really weighing on me for some time. I think just like, because it's like every second it's in the back of your head. Like, you have to train. You have to train. You have to train. What do you think about these people on TikTok? They're claiming, which maybe they probably are actually, like if they're actually athletic, but they're saying that they raw dogged.
They're crazy.
The half.
They're crazy.
That they've never trained. It is, but they've had good times.
No, they have good times, but you can't tell me that these people are not training beforehand.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
I know.
I don't believe it. Show me the receipts. Show me the receipts. Show me on your Apple Watch that you've never ran once before this and you just started.
Like, let's define what raw dogging a race for you actually means.
Yeah. Because if
like, did we raw dog it a little bit?
We kind of did.
But like, we kind of half trained.
We kind of half trained. I mean, I guess we could say we're in that group. No, I just think that my interpretation of it is like they didn't have a regimented training schedule like what we tried to do.
Right.
Tried being the word. But, you know, maybe they have run short distances before just for their own workouts, and then they decided, oh, let's see if we can get to 13 miles today, and somehow they managed to do it. I mean, I also think it takes you have to have some level of fitness to yourself anyway. Like you have to have some sort of physical fitness to yourself to be able to do that, whether you take Pilates classes every day or, you know, you go to the gym and you lift weights for 5 hours.
Even if you're doing like the high intensity workouts, you're still building up that stamina that you would be able to do it. But I was just curious, your thoughts.
I think they're bullshitting us.
I think they're bullshitting us.
I think they're bullshitting us, and I want to see the receipts.
It doesn't take away our accomplishments.
I am too. No one can tell me shit now.
Yeah.
I know. No one can tell me anything.
On a high. I'm like, I'm better than all of you.
That's it. I just think that try and say what you want, but I want to see somebody else do this. I want to see it. Because it really does take a level of commitment and perseverance and mental strength and physical strength to do what we did in horrible conditions. Once again, I mean, it's easy enough to get up on a nice day.
Because we're always running by the shore, like we're always running next to the water, and it's just very windy and very overstimulating.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean,
but I think I would rather run. Like, I mean, we haven't ran long distances yet in the
heat. I know. That's what I'm scared about. Because next month, God willing, we have a nice day for my next half. But I also don't want it to be 80 degrees where I'm going to be sweating. And the thought of having to start running in shorts terrifies me.
Yeah.
I've yet to start that. Actually, no, it's not true. I ran a little bit on the treadmill in shorts when I was in Cancun and was trying to stick to my training, and that lasted about a day. And it wasn't terribly uncomfortable. So I think I just need to find the right pairs of shorts. Yeah. The longer, the better.
Yes, for sure.
And you know what? Capris are also a good idea.
Yeah.
Capri
I feel leggings, like I would do that. Yeah.
I think capris are making a comeback.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that because I want them to come back. So let's just start it now that they're making a comeback. So maybe
I used to wear capris all the time when I
Me
was
too.
younger.
That's
My
what
mom
I'm
always
saying.
put me in capris.
That's what I'm saying. We'll bring
But
back
I feel like
the
people
capris.
make fun of them now. Like people, like if you see like a celebrity or like a fashion model or something like in capris, everybody's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Well, I've seen people wear stupid shit for years, so I don't care. If I want to wear capris, I'm going to wear the capris.
yesterday I was in Manhattan and like it's that time where like you just don't know how
to
you
dress.
should dress. And like usually I'll wear a jacket in the morning to work and then it's like coming off as I'm leaving work because it's just hot. But yesterday in the city it was hot and this girl had on a short like mini dress, short sleeve dress with furry Ugg boots.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, pick one.
Pick a season.
Pick one.
And stay there.
But this is just that's the definition of what the times that we are in.
Right. It's just, you can't. You wake up, it's 30 degrees. You come home, it's 60. Like, it's not
Right.
at all consistent. It's not all easy to plan for any sort of nice looking outfit. And I just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to be comfortable. I'm so sick of getting dressed.
Me too.
I just wear jeans every day and some sort of shirt that looks decent enough to get by. And that's what we do. And
It's so funny. Me and my colleagues, we have this thing like we have this one meeting like every other Thursday. And one time there was like 3 of us that were in like
Turtleneck
a bodysuit
bodysuits.
turtleneck.
gold chain jeans. The Rock.
The Rock. That is my, like, if I could live in a black
yeah.
bodysuit, like, it just, and especially the turtleneck, like, it just looks so classy, so good.
It goes with everything.
Right. So all of us were in these black turtlenecks. So it's like every Thursday, like, when we have this meeting now, like, we kind of just, like,
Everybody wears the uniform.
We wear the uniform. We're like, hey, you wore the turtleneck. Hey. So it's funny. But yeah, I had it on yesterday. But yeah, when I left work, it was hot. I didn't really need the jacket.
Nikki and I are twinning today in our denim jackets.
Denim.
And our new charm necklaces.
Yes, TJ Maxx, guys. TJ Maxx.
We're on trend.
Yeah.
We know the trends. We're hip.
Yeah. I love these necklaces. I've seen them on TikTok. Seashell charm necklaces. I've seen them all over TikTok and I was like, I have to find it. I went to, they said like either TJ Maxx or obviously Marshalls. They're the same. So like you would find it. But like I was searching in the Marshalls near my mom's house and I could not find it. And then I randomly went to TJ Maxx. I was there for something else. And it's always when you're not looking. Like I think I went there. I don't know what I went there for. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, let me just look at the jewelry. Like you have to. And there was like some that were outside of the case that were seashell charm necklaces. And then there was this two gorgeous ones that were in the case. And then one of them was outside. I got all 3. Only $66.
That's it.
For 3 beautiful charm necklaces.
Yep. Can't get better than that.
Yours is totally your style though.
It is. It's mine
so
has
you.
like a key, a heart, like other little charms. I don't know how to describe them.
It's you.
And Nikki's got her seashells. So we've brought our own little personalities to today's episode. Denim jackets.
Home Goods, TJ Maxx.
Yes.
That is like Marshall's, my therapy.
Bread and butter.
I just, like, it's my little treat even. Like, there's a TJ Maxx next to my gym. So, like, when I'm done, I'm like, I have to go there.
You just finished
They're
a
probably like,
workout.
oh, she's here again. Like, sweaty and all. I have to make sure I'm, like, marching over to TJ Maxx. It's the same shit that was there the day before.
You never know. They get new stuff.
Don't know. Yeah.
Wednesdays are apparently the days they get the new stuff.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, every time I go in, I come out with another seashell coastal
Something.
decor. I got it's a seashell vase.
Yeah.
Or vase. Vase or vase?
whatever.
I say vase.
Yeah, it's good.
Vase vase. So I got that, but it's not like you can't fill it with water. It's like the fake flowers. So I'm going to have to go find those. Probably go to Michael's for that.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the coastal stuff is out. Summer is approaching, and life is good again.
Thank God.
Oh, speaking of another, I was with my this was like the head honcho boss. She was in the office yesterday. I was talking. Of course, we got in the elevator together, and I was like, I don't know why. She's very nice, but like I freak out a little bit. I think when people have like seniority,
Yeah.
you're kind of just like,
The
it's like
boss.
when you're like passing like a cop and it's just like you didn't do
Oh, yeah.
anything, but it's like, ugh.
Me, always.
Yeah. So I'm like in the elevator with her and I'm like, oh, this weather. Like, what else am I going to talk about? And she was like, oh, like, I said, like, I don't know how to dress. And I said, but I heard she just, like, looks like she loves winter. She's just got that, like, vibe and style
Yep.
of, like, I'm like, you definitely are a winter girl. And she loves winter. And she told me she grew up in Seattle. So she, like,
that's
because I
why.
was telling her about, like, the SADS, like, the
Yeah.
seasonal depression. I was like, yeah, my seasonal depression is just lifting off of
Yeah.
me. She's like, I really feel for you guys that have to deal with that. She's like, because I love the winter. She's like, I hate the summer. She goes, do I
Wow.
look like a summer girl to you? I'm like, no, you don't.
Sorry. Don't fire me.
But yeah, the seasonal depression has lifted off. We are back.
We're
And-
back. It lifted like that rocket ship that just took Katy Perry up to space.
Oh, I have no words. I have no words for
Wait.
that.
It's like, this is a very serious thing, and I don't mean to laugh about it, but I was just on TikTok maybe this morning, and somebody posted this like cartoon that they made where it's a man and a woman talking about like, oh, like, you know, we'll buy the cheap diapers this month and we'll put this on the emergency credit card, and then like, you know, we'll do all of this to save money this month. And then it cuts to the four of them in the rocket ship like, this is what rich people get to do. And it's like, it's so true. We're all here struggling in more ways than one.
But like,
And these four just went up to space.
and then I feel like that's also the same thing as like the celebrities that take their private jets here,
Oh,
there, and
yeah, that
everywhere.
too.
Like you literally took that rocket ship up for 11 minutes.
11 minutes to bring a flower up
Yeah.
to space. That's what Katy Perry
Yeah.
did because her daughter's name is Daisy.
Yep.
She brought the little flower up.
And we want to talk about energy conservation and all of this.
Yep.
And they did that.
Yep.
But people are praising them. Everybody's proud. So
Yep. I had a Blue Origin.
I just have no.
You couldn't pay me enough to go to space.
But like what? Like for like and I saw a TikTok that she was crying, and I never even heard of like that this was happening. And they were like, what would you want to say to your family before you leave? And she starts crying, and I'm like, holy shit! Like how long is the space mission? Like I thought they were leaving for like a year. Like we were never going to see Katy Perry again.
Oh, God.
And it was 11 minutes.
no, that was ridiculous.
And this guy on Instagram posted that he's taken shits that lasted longer than 11 minutes. I mean, come on.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
The privilege in America
Yeah.
of people
Yeah.
is absolutely insane.
Oh, it's nuts. It's nuts. I mean, I don't think this was really necessary
Or thought out.
or thought out. It's just another newsmaker.
And
That's
they
all it
also
is.
said there's people that are like, I don't know if they said like NASA workers. Like, yeah, I guess you would say NASA workers or like people that always wanted this.
Oh, sure.
And these
Four just get to go and do it.
Jamos
Yeah.
go and do it.
Yeah. No experience.
None.
No training. Well, I mean, maybe they train, but like no years of prepping for this.
And she kissed the ground when she came out.
Please. That's another thing you couldn't pay me $1 million to do is kiss the ground. If you know me, I'm not putting my face anywhere near the ground.
Yeah.
I don't care where I just came back from. I don't care if I just came back from prison. Can't get me to do that. This girl goes to the outer depths of space, literally the edge of space. She was practically on Earth still.
Yeah.
And she kisses the ground.
Well-
Speaking of other pop culture,
Yeah, I was going to say, this is our Sweet 16 episode.
yeah,
Episode 16.
you guys came through on the March Madness brackets that we had shown on Instagram just a few weeks back. While the games were still going on.
While we were still in March.
While we were still in March. We're going to ignore the fact that we're no longer in March. But we've still got a little madness to discuss. So we are going to reveal the results of our pop culture March Madness that all you lovely listeners voted in on. And we'll share the listeners' picks and we'll share mine and Nikki's picks. I would would say for the most part we were aligned with the fans.
We were.
But it's up for discussion. It's up for discussion. So we'll start off first round. As you saw in our picks, we broke this out. This is reality TV villains, essentially. So all your favorites from Jax Taylor from Vanderpump Rules, Shake from Love is Blind.
I forgot his name was Shake, so when we spoke about it, I was like, Shocky. And I was like, what the fuck is Shocky? I don't remember. It was so long ago. I can't believe, like...
But it's also like you don't like who
hears about him since, yeah.
That and who the fuck is named Shake?
Shake.
We've got Lindsay from Summer House. We got all the reality TV villains that we wanted to get everyone's take on who's the worst out of them. So we'll go one by one. First up, our Vanderpump Rules bracket. Great timing, actually, because The Valley is coming back this week. I think it actually did come back.
I did enjoy that. I enjoyed that.
I have to watch first episode of season 2. I haven't started yet. But the two OGs to really make it out of Vanderpump and onto The Valley, Jax versus Kristen. Now, we've already had some controversy here with Nikki talking about her feelings on Kristen. But I think we can both agree these two are the messiest of messy exes. Jax cheats on literally every single person that comes into his life. He'd cheat on the air if he could. Mm-hmm. And Kristen is just a meddler. She just cannot help herself but get involved in everyone else's business and drama. And
she's like the total opposite of me and like the people that I would be friends with.
Yeah. But nevertheless, we had to make a decision between these two. So the listeners and us, we were all aligned on picking Jax here, and I think that's fair.
It's fair.
I think especially, I mean, we've seen things spiraling out even more between him and Brittany over the last few months with their divorce, and how they've been handling that, and him admitting to, you know, his substance abuse problems. And I mean, even in the previews so far that I've seen of The Valley, it doesn't look like he's really worked on himself much. So I think out of the two, it's fair to choose Jax. Similar vein, we've got in our second pick of the Vanderpump bracket, Tom Sandoval and James Kennedy. And, you know, I don't think we need to, you know, we've got Tom, who just totally upended everyone's lives.
The worm with the mustache.
The worm with the mustache. And James, who, you know, we love him, but he's had some problems.
Yeah.
Over the last few years himself. The last few months have been especially tricky. Did you watch his ex-girlfriend's podcast yet?
No.
We'll have to watch and report on the next episode. She started her own podcast, and the first episode she talked about their relationship and what happened.
Oh my god.
I didn't watch it either, so we'll have to table that.
I feel like I'm in the loop but out of the loop. Like, I don't follow many celebrities on, or like whatever you want to call these people, on Instagram.
It just comes up on my TikTok, like all this pop culture stuff. So
wow. Okay, yes.
We'll table it. We'll discuss another time. All's that to say, between the two, once again, we and the listeners chose Tom. And I think, again, you know, we could say what we want about James as well, but Tom really shit the bed, for lack of a better word. He shit the bed.
He did.
And, you know, it probably gave us, you know, an extra season of Vanderpump that we would not have otherwise gotten, but it was just wild ride.
Maybe he did it for the plot.
He might have did it for the plot.
Yeah, you're right. Because after that, they were all done. So maybe that was like, he was trying to...
Side note, I also saw on TikTok a photo shoot they were doing for the new cast of Vanderpump.
Ooh.
And it's all these girls dressed in their tight sir dresses. And they all look like someone commented they were all like replicas of Sheena. I didn't see it that way. There were some that were like, that looked like her, some that, didn't. And then someone else wrote, I'm bored already.
Yeah, I feel like every time there's like a new cast of like, let's say Love is Blind, The Bachelor, like I'm just like, oh, like I just got used to the other casts. But like you just get used to, like even with Summer House, they're always bringing in new people and I'm like, I don't like this person. Oh wait, I love this person. So
yeah. So we'll see. More to come there as well. But yes, that was Tom who took home the prize. All right, Love is Blind bracket. First up, we have got Shake versus Irina. Shake was season 2. Love is Blind. Irina was season 4, I believe. And we all know Shake was just disgusting, for lack of a better word. Just constantly commenting on his fiance's appearance and body and how he wasn't attracted to her.
It's
and
so bad.
It just made,
she was stunning. So
gorgeous. And it made no sense whatsoever why he even stuck around for as long as he did. If he was feeling like that. But, whatever. We dealt with him. And then Irina was a little bit of a
hated
bully.
Hated her.
She's a little bit of a bully.
There is no reason for her to be acting the way that she did. There was zero fucking reason.
Not a nice girl.
What do they say? Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. Literally her.
Yep. You gotta admit, though, it was funny when she was still engaged to Zach, the first guy, and then they're in the hotel room and they realize, like, that's it. Like, they're breaking up. They're not, like, they're done with each other. And they're just, like, shitting on each other, like, but, like, laughing about it because now they can be honest. And they're just like, I wasn't attracted to you at all when you walked through the door. Or, I've been thinking about this other girl since we left the pod. And they're all just, they're just sitting in bed laughing about it. And, like, peak comedy. But out of these two, we picked Irina. Again, we have our opinions. Like, just not nice. We don't like girls that are not nice.
No, you don't like mean girls.
No. And the listeners picked Shake. Okay, it's fine. Understandable. So, I think you could go either way, really, in a round like this. Then we have got Bartise from season 3. Yes, Bartise was season 3. Jackie was also season 3. So Bartise was another one. Ridiculous. Constantly worried about the way his partner looks. All about physical appearance with this guy. Meanwhile, he looked like a Q-tip.
Exactly. And listen to the show that you applied to be on.
Right.
Love is Blind.
Right.
What are we doing?
Right.
If you can't get into that mindset of like, I honestly feel like at this point in my life, I'm like, yeah, like love is blind. Like you could literally just fall in love with anybody. Like, you just don't know.
Looks don't matter.
Right.
When it comes to someone that you really have a connection with through your personalities, through your interests, through all of that.
But there's a lot of shallow people on Love is Blind.
And they just like don't stop casting them.
Yeah.
It's just every season there is at least one person. And like, you kind of have to do that for the plot because you have to see who's going to be that one to be like, oh, she's
like
great.
They sign up for Love Island, but they put them on Love is Blind.
Right, exactly.
It's like, let's just switch it up.
Right. Like, go on a different show, please. And then Jackie was just not nice to the guy. Wasn't, like, it didn't work out for, their own reasons, the guy she was engaged to. But then she ended up going to the other guy who she was talking to in the pods, right before the weddings happened. So, like, she moved on real quick, which I kind of feel like we've seen that maybe this past season we saw that as well. Maybe not.
I didn't watch this past season. I have
did,
to do
but
that.
it was another like one.
Yeah.
Wasn't super entertaining. But she was a little nefarious as well. But we and the listeners agreed on Bartise for this one. Think that was I think he just was another one. I'm over the men who think they're hot shit and think they deserve supermodel women when they look like Q-tips.
Wait, that's so funny. It's like
Q-tip.
in like on the dating apps, somebody put in like their bio, look at yourself and then look at me. It's like, don't match with me. Look at the way that you do.
Buy
You
a
didn't even
mirror.
brush your hair
Invest in a
in
mirror.
your picture.
That's bad.
Yeah.
No. We listen and we don't judge,
I judge.
but we also think people need to wake up a little bit and realize what's happening. All right, Summer House. This is the big one. Nikki and I went back on this one a little bit because we've got Lindsay versus Kyle. We all know Kyle is the 42-year-old man-child who refuses to give up his summer house. We know plenty of people like that in our own lives. But we also know Lindsay can shake the house up when she gets activated, as she likes to put it. Activated. I think she's gotten a little more relaxed in her mom era, I will say, but we've seen her for the last 10 years. I don't know how else to put it besides just like go ape shit. She just has gone ape shit. So
Kyle and Amanda just can't do wrong in my eyes. I
Surprised you say
dealt
that.
with a Kyle before, and like I would never want to deal with it again. So I guess like, you know, who am I to like? I guess I don't care.
Yeah.
I just find him funny. But I love Amanda so much.
no, Amanda's. There's a reason why she's not on this list.
Yes.
Yes, we love
an
Amanda.
angel.
She's great. I think, you know, Kyle's just started shit too. He's acted like an idiot because of all the things, all the partying and the drinking and the staying out late. You know, at a certain age, come on. But you know, whatever. To each their own. We ended up after some discussion going with Lindsay on this one, and so did the listeners. So Lindsay makes it on to the next round. Now we're shaking things up. Danielle versus Carl. Danielle, the CEO of who knows? We still don't know what she's got going on there. And Carl, you know, was like Sandoval 2.0. He also threw everybody for a loop with the whole ending of the engagement.
Danielle just reminds me so much of Kristen
Yeah.
that like I can't separate the two. Like they're literally the same person.
I mean, that makes sense.
Fake, filled with drama, loves the drama, and just two-faced.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Makes sense. We ended up with Danielle for this one, as did the listeners, which I was actually a little surprised about. I thought there was going to be more choosing of Carl in this round because of everything that happened with Lindsay, but the listeners feel the same way, and Danielle moves on to the next round. All right, next up we've got Selling Sunset. Lot of drama, a lot of villains on this one. First round we have got Christine versus Davina. Christine, we all know, just from the beginning, was painted to be the villain. And Davina spent 2 years, maybe more, trying to sell a $75 million house that just never, I still, to this day, don't think it has sold. And just personality-wise, wasn't my favorite.
No.
Didn't
No.
seem to be a very friendly, collaborative person. So our pick was Davina. The listeners chose Christine. So we can go both ways. We can see it both ways. I think at the end of the day, at the end of the day, just feel like Christine was just being real. She's just being her
Right.
authentic self. But as we said, to each their own. Last choices of this round, Chelsea versus Bree. So newer agents at the Oppenheim group. Chelsea likes to stir the pot a little bit. Like, I think she is one of those people that always is saying, you know, I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. But you're causing drama by being honest. There's a level where you could tone it down a little. Whereas Bree, I personally think, you know, she has gone for what she wants. She's a single mother. She's trying to get her bag. She's trying to do what she's got to do to build up her business. Is she always nice about it? Is she always friendly about it? No. So you could paint her as a villain too, but that's business.
I think she's real.
Yeah, well, again, that's someone who's just being real. So our pick was Chelsea in that vein, and then the listeners picked Bree. So again, some debate with the listeners. But now we are on to our second round. So now we have paired up everyone in the reality TV brackets based on our picks and the listeners' picks. So first up, Vanderpump, we've got Jax versus Tom. And I feel like this is always the hard decision to make between the two.
Right.
Because again, Jax is Jax. Tom has done
the lesser evil. Who's the lesser evil?
Right. And so we and the listeners both ended up picking Jax once again, which I think is fair. You know, he's just has a consistent past of being an ass. Love is Blind, Shake versus Bartise. So a lot of toxic masculinity here. Again, two guys who are just way too concerned about physical appearance and looks. But out of the two, the listeners and we chose Shake. So Shake moves on to the next round. Summer House, we've got Lindsay versus Danielle, the two best friends.
Turned enemies.
Turned best friends. Turned best friends again. Maybe they were enemies one more time before we got to this point. There's been drama between the two of them for a long, long time now. But they always end up back together. But out of the two, we stuck to our guns and we stuck with Danielle on this one. As did the listeners. The listeners, which I think makes sense. I think Lindsay has redeemed herself within the public eye over the last year, especially now she has the baby. Everyone's so excited and happy. And I mean, I will say, just watching this newest season of Summer House, like she's calmed down a little bit. She's a little more, focused on the important stuff. She's having a baby. She's not worried about the drama. So we will continue to go with Danielle on this one. And last up, Selling Sunset, Christine versus Bree. Two, again, in our opinion, just real people, but a lot of the viewers, again, see these two as the villains. Christine, we got the old school villain versus Bree, new drama coming to the agency. So the listeners and we chose Bree on this one. Bree's just new meat. She's bringing the latest drama. Mm-hmm. Christine, we'll leave you where you are. Hope you're doing okay. All right, third round. Moving on, we got now Jax versus Shake. So the worlds are intertwining. We've got Love is Blind versus VPR. It's like a Disney Channel crossover. This one was a tough one. Again, just the two of these guys have a laundry list of bad things about them. But we stuck with Jax still. Jax persevered into the next round. We can't say it again. You can interpret our feelings at this point. And then Danielle versus Bree. I mean, out of the two, it's still Danielle. It's still Danielle for everybody.
To be.
It's just, I just think,
just the faces that she makes on that show.
Just
I'm like,
the
stop
faces.
putting the camera on her face because I don't want to see it.
And she brings nothing.
And she's always in shock.
And she just brings nothing more to the table than drama. Like, you don't, like, I don't care about your app that we don't know how to use it. We don't know what it is.
I still don't know what she does.
Yeah, no. Sorry. All right, that brings us to our final round of Pop Culture March Madness. And we have got Jax versus Danielle. And the winner is Jax. Jax by a landslide. I think it was a pretty large voting of Jax versus Danielle. So Jax takes the crown as our ultimate reality TV villain on this year's edition of Pop Culture March Madness. You
earned it.
Congratulations. Enjoy. You get nothing for your prize.
You get nothing.
Better luck next year. So much drama. So much drama to look back on.
Yes.
With all of these folks. More to come, for sure, but so much to look back on. And speaking of drama,
we'll leave you with this.
We are chatting about what is taking over TikTok a little bit, and that is the unhinged podcast drama. There are things stirring up in the podcast world, and we're here to talk all about it. So I'll start by saying I had never heard of the Unhinged podcast until Nikki showed it to me. That's no shade, just didn't know who they were.
Well, because Anna, it was like when we were thinking about doing a podcast, I was looking up podcasts, and then this girl just was on my page, and I think I followed her because she was like really pretty, and then I seen like she created this podcast, and then I went on their YouTube. I saw they had a YouTube account, so I scrolled all the way to like their first YouTube video.
Yep.
And like they didn't have like a lot of likes or anything, but they grew and they blew up.
Right. So Unhinged was a podcast hosted by these two girls, Chloe and Emma. Very similar to a lot of podcasts out there now, talking about dating and the trials and the tribulations of being a young woman dating in the pool of men out there. All their stories, all the drama, all of that. Okay. Pretty successful podcast. They had over 600,000 followers between all of their social channels. They had good listenership. It was one of the ones up there. It wasn't anything, wasn't Call Her Daddy, but it wasn't some, brand new off the ground podcast. So they were in that sweet spot. So earlier this year, Chloe, who is the blonde co-host.
Yes, there's a blonde and a brunette.
Yes. Chloe posted that Unhinged was done. This was it. They were done. They were no longer going to be operating as the Unhinged podcast. She was going to be starting out on her own as the Unbothered podcast. Whereas Emma, the brunette co-host of the two, was going to be starting off on another independent podcast journey herself, the Too Much podcast. Okay. Now, when this first happened, Chloe put out just like 10-minute podcast episode. Sorry guys, Unhinged is no more. She alluded to things just not working out with her and Emma, there being some conflict over shared accounts and input of work and several things that they just didn't seem to align on anymore, and so they had decided to part ways. And that was pretty much all we heard about of it for a few weeks. Emma, now on her own, as well as a podcaster, decided to come on the scene and recently put out an episode giving her side of the story. And this was not a 10-minute quick episode. This was a 45-minute deep dive into her side of the story, what happened.
Receipts.
She brought receipts. Every email and text between her and her former co-host to back up what she was saying, why she felt like she was wronged in various ways, and trying to essentially clear her name because she felt like she needed to clear her name on some things. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about all of this. Nikki, as you know, the one who introduced me to the Unhinged podcast, you know, we were a little more familiar with them to start. What was your take on this drama? We both listened to both Emma's and Chloe's episodes detailing what happened between them and giving their sides of the story. But what was your take following Emma's episode this week?
Okay. So basically, Emma said that they were both on the East Coast.
Yes.
Together. And then Chloe decides to move on the West Coast to California.
Correct.
So now I guess they're not thinking or working like the Toast where you can just do it virtually.
Remotely, right. Emma is flying,
paying for, or as she says, couch surfing.
Yep.
To now do these podcast episodes. Now she feels like they're in different time zones, and Chloe is bothering her because they are treating it like, I guess everybody does, as work. But Chloe is, emailing her or texting her, contacting her outside of
working hours, 9 to 6 p.m.
Right, which, I guess she didn't appreciate, but you're in different time zones now.
Right. You got to make it work.
Okay. So now I think Emma just was already pre-planning that she wanted to do her own podcast.
Yes.
She wanted to break away, and she told Chloe that, she was done, but she didn't want Chloe using the accounts that they both built it together.
Right.
But if you're making this decision to take yourself out of the podcast, why do you care if that one person, your partner, is going to continue running the episodes and podcasts that you've built?
Right.
I don't think that, because no matter what, Chloe would still be doing it with her. If
Emma had said, we can find a way to work this out.
Right.
They would have continued on as if nothing happened.
But if you're taking yourself out, nobody's forcing you to leave. I think Chloe has every right to continue.
Right.
And continue with the same content, continue with the same name, continue with the same following.
And at the end of the day, you can't force her not to use the same accounts. You can't force her to change or delete the accounts and start over fresh.
That was another thing. Emma apparently claims that she has this lawyer friend that she was picking their brain about, what should she do? And the lawyer basically told her, in order to get Chloe to message you back, because Chloe wasn't messaging her back, which we find out later on, it was because Chloe was just digesting this information.
Sure.
She needed time to think. Sure. She needed things to process. I mean, I understand that to a sense, but then I also, if I sent that message, I would want a response and just hey, could we talk about it? Not being ignored.
Right.
But again, everybody's different. So the lawyer told Emma to go ahead and change the passwords of 2 accounts.
Right.
So she changes the passwords of 2 accounts and then tells Chloe, if you want it back, you have to meet with me.
Right.
Now, Chloe, as what anybody else would do, you want to play with fire, you're going to get fucking burned.
Yeah.
She changed all the account passwords, as she should.
Yep.
And now Emma is sitting there shit out of luck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you have to, if you want to play nice, you play nice. And again, I get that she was playing nice in the beginning, but I just think there's no way to justify, just let her keep it. She worked on it just as much as you did.
Right.
And it's funny enough, they had no history before they started that podcast.
They didn't know each other, really.
Right.
It just was...
Which, sometimes it could work out, but sometimes, I guess, it just doesn't work out.
No, and I think it can make it more difficult to
work with that person
together.
You don't know their personality.
Right.
You don't know, if she actually knew Chloe, she'd be like, oh, Chloe's just processing this and she'll get back to me.
Right. Exactly. It's a crazy situation, and I have similar thoughts as you. One, I agree with you. There is like no way this girl just woke up one day and was like, I'm going to just start my own podcast. And she said that she had felt after like their 1 year mark, which I think she had said sometime around July, she had felt like this maybe was not something she wanted to do anymore. So from July to January, she was sitting on this idea of what am I going to do if I don't want to do this? She probably thought to herself, I'm going to do my own thing. So she definitely was thinking of this for quite a while, was probably in the background planning on how it was going to happen if one day the opportunity came for her to break away from Unhinged. 2, to me personally, the location of where you are when doing something like a podcast should not matter. It should not matter. If this girl wants to go and move with her significant other to California, find a way to make it work where you can do this remotely. You can still have the quality of the podcast. You can still talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. And you're just not in the same state. It is what it is. And to your point, the girls from the Toast do it. And I don't know if I feel like I've told you this, but the Toast, one of the girls, her husband has a podcast with Josh Peck.
Ah,
They're not always.
You did tell me that.
They're not always together. Very,
Right.
very much same thing. Josh is in California. Ben, the other co-host, is in New York. They do it remotely, and it's a top podcast now. They have very big guests
Wow.
on. They just had Drake Bell on.
Oh, when you said Drake, I was like,
Yeah.
my heart just
No,
sank.
no.
Not that Drake.
Not that Drake. They just had Drake Bell on. Like they are doing these very big episodes remotely, and it's a very successful podcast. So it's not impossible to do this remotely and still have your own studios and make this work and have it be good. So that is also because according to Emma, Chloe's move to California was where things started to go wrong in their relationship. Again, it shouldn't be that
No.
way. It's a long distance friendship. It's a long distance partnership. You're gonna have people do it all the time. Deal with it. And what I also don't like about what Emma did is that she put all of these receipts on her Instagram for the world to see.
Right.
And Chloe even said, she put this on her account where people I work with in other capacities could see it. Where, my friends can see it and my, people in my network can see it. And that's not cool because I have to work with these people in other capacities, in other aspects of my business. And now they're seeing this and she's painting this picture of what happened and giving all of these personal emails between us and whatnot. It's, to me,
I mean, it is filled with drama, but I think they were like professional in their writing. Both
They
of
were
them.
professional in their
Even though
writing.
it was like stupid and immature, they both didn't say anything that
Right.
was too out of line.
But I also just think those are personal conversations
Yes.
between the two of them
It
that should
shouldn't
stay
be.
between the two of them. You don't need to broadcast that to the world.
But again, she's building up her following now.
Yes, exactly.
There's a method.
I saw so many people comment on the TikTok preview she had for this
Yes.
episode earlier this week, where they're saying, "I have no idea what's going on with
I
this,
don't
but
know
I'm
you.
invested."
I don't know her, but I just
Right.
it just landed on my For You page. And
That's it. And now she's got more followers, more listeners. I guarantee you a lot of people tuned into this episode she just had earlier this week explaining everything.
Anna, should we start some drama?
I know. What do you... Start a fight with me, Nikki. Start a fight. Say something. Say something now. Call me a name.
Let's plot. We'll plot. We'll drop it on them soon in a couple weeks.
Stay tuned. No, it's just, it's silly. It's all silly stuff. I think if you really want to work something out, you'll find a way to work things out. I mean, again, could they have communicated about this a little better? Sure, but you also, when you don't know someone on a personal
Right.
level as much as you should, like, it's hard to really know what the other person is thinking, what they're feeling, how they process things, So I think it's just, in my opinion, very difficult to work with someone you don't know.
Yes.
At least on some level. I mean, I think if these two would have spent 3 months together getting to know
that
each other.
friendship,
Right.
that foundation.
Go to lunch once a week, talk on the phone once a week, tell
Yeah.
each other about,
They did say like they weren't talking. They
Right.
weren't talking about their lives because
Right.
they wanted to like talk on the pod and like save it for the pod.
which is fine in a sense, but then that's also you're basically getting to know this girl through the podcast, and you're both broadcasting things out to the public that neither of you know about each other. I mean, what would have happened if maybe they shared some really crazy stories and just was like a shock to the other person, and then what? Then it's like,
Right.
how do you go on from that and go on the show the next week and act like everything's fine and normal? I don't know. To me, I think you could have spent at least a few months getting to know each other, establishing a relationship, and then deciding, you know what, I feel like I can vibe with this person. I feel like I can get along with this person. You know, if we do this and it is a long-term thing and we become really good friends out of it, like, I'll be happy. But I mean, that's a chance you take when you do something like
and
this.
Chloe was even supporting Emma, and Emma said it was a slap in the face and very insulting, but Chloe offered her 3 months.
3 months of whatever brand deals were coming into the Unhinged, Unbothered podcast, or 15% of all brand deals through the first quarter of this year, which would be through the end of March.
I would like to see those numbers.
I would like to see them too.
Emma's saying it's a slap in the face.
Right.
But I want to see those numbers. Like, I don't even know how much podcasters like make or get paid on brand deals, but like, I want to know, especially for a podcast that like isn't as big as Call Her Daddy, like what they make.
Yeah.
But
I mean-
she did say like this should help you get started on your
Right.
podcast.
Right.
So she was supporting her.
And I think, you know, whether you feel like it's a fair offer or not, it's an offer
It's
of
an
some
offer.
kind. It's better than nothing. This girl could have easily said, like,
Nothing
I've
still,
got
and you're done.
I've got the profiles, I've got the big following, like, I'm taking this and I'm running with this. You can go scratch my ass, like,
Right.
you know. She could have
I do
offered
like
her
that
nothing.
she named the podcast Unbothered.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Because like she is unbothered.
Yeah.
She's still unbothered. Like,
And that's
when
kinda how you have
don't
to
want-
be.
Yes, when you don't want people to destroy your peace, and like I just feel like she handled it really well.
Yeah.
And she processed it. She's unbothered. She's
That's
an
it.
unbothered queen, and I stan
That's it.
Chloe.
That's it. I think it'll be interesting to see, because apparently Chloe is now putting together her episode with her
Ooh.
side of the story. Her longer, I guess this is going to be a longer episode, where she's going to detail her side of the story. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what she has to say. But I think, you know, I think it just goes to show you that the creator industry is very difficult to work in.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, and it's a lot of, you really do have to crawl your way to the top in a sense. Like, yes, I know they said like they built it up fast. They went viral pretty quickly. They got a good following, you know, within a few months. To me, that's luck. To me, that's luck. And like, you know, if you're going to be in this industry and you're going to solely rely on something like a podcast and brand deals and social content to be your income, you got to be prepared for things like this, to just kind of get ripped away. Not that it was taken from her, but, you know, 1 minute it could be there, 1 minute it can't. It's the same thing as TikTok, you know.
Right.
TikTok
I was
went
so
away
excited. I was so excited for TikTok to go away. I was like, what are all these fuckers going to be doing
Nikki
now?
was excited.
They're
but-
all going to be working like us on their 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah, you had
I
all
couldn't
these-
wait.
You had all of these big time creators who we all wondered what, I mean, you know, many of them have their own businesses and other streams of income at this point, but for a lot of people, they rely solely on TikTok for their income. And if that goes away, what are you going to do? I actually saw this one girl who I follow. I think she's got maybe 500,000 followers on TikTok, and she's been running too. And she's been vlogging her way to her full marathon. And she actually quit her job to pursue TikTok full-time, content creation full-time, like all of that. And then just the other day, she posted a video that she's now back in a 9-to-5 job because partially after the TikTok ban that lasted again 12 hours, you know, she said to herself, like, if this happens again, what am I really going to do? Like, I have to have also a job that I can rely on. And she said she waited until she found something that she was really excited about, really passionate about. So, you know, but that being said, she's back in the workforce like the rest of us while also trying to make TikTok videos on the side. It's just, it's not something you can rely on fully.
Benefits.
Oh, yeah.
Your 401k. Like, how are these things? I mean, long term, you just, you're not thinking about that. And then also, I was listening to the Giggly Squad, and Hannah was saying that she hasn't gone to the gyno in years. Hasn't gotten a pap smear. And it's just like, yes, we all hate that, obviously, but
we need our checkups.
We do. And she was just like, yeah, like, I don't even have insurance. And it's true. I mean, what? It's expensive as fuck.
It is. It is. If you do not have employer-provided health insurance, forget it. And that's obviously a big issue in our country.
And it's the same thing with bartending, too. Yeah. Like, I mean, I can't bartend full-time.
No.
It's a lot of money. I would love to bartend full-time, but I need benefits and I need stability.
Right.
If there's another, God forbid, pandemic.
God forbid.
That's money that you're not going to be making. I mean, yes, we have unemployment, but it's not the same.
But, exactly. You're not getting the same amount of tips and wages that you would. No, it's very hard to be in those types of industries that don't have those plans in place for people when it comes to their health care and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, it's, again, if you want to go down that road, these are the things that you may deal with at a certain point in time. But we'll see how the drama unfolds. We'll see what comes next between these two. I'm sure it's not the last we'll hear of them. But we'll be back to discuss at some point, I'm sure. That is really all we had for today. We chatted about our race. We chatted about our pop cultures of the week. We're proud. We're happy. We're chugging along to the next race. We'll find another one soon.
Yes.
To do together. And we're happy to be back.
Yes.
We're glad to be back here with everyone. Chatting once again, sipping on our lovely drinks that Nikki made. We heard.
I received a lot of texts and calls.
The fans
What's going
missed
on?
us.
What's going on? Where are you guys?
It's just been a busy month.
Yeah.
Tough to be podcasters this day and age.
They miss us.
Well, we'll be back. We'll be back once again. But until then, thank you all for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe. Comment your thoughts on today's episode below. Comment your thoughts on the drama.
Yes.
Tell us what you're looking forward to now that the weather's getting warmer.
I want to know whose side they're on.
Sure, let's pick sides. All that. Let's get your thoughts on it. Follow us on socials. We are at the Sip and Spill Pod on Instagram and TikTok. That is at the Sip and Like Nikki Spill Pod on Instagram and TikTok. And if you're watching or listening to us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts, turn on your notifications. Be notified when we drop a new episode. We promise it won't be a month from now like last time. But follow us on there. Keep up with us. And we will be back for the next one. Cheers, Nikki.
Cheers, Anna.